Welcome to the Gunnersville Grassroots Podcast in February of 2024. My friend Trey is coming back to talk with us this year. However, he's currently somewhere in Florida, Okeechobee, I think. And surprise visit, surprise podcast. Wasn't really planned, but sitting here across from me is my buddy PD Vinson, who is the founder of the BassCashBash. He rolled into town here for a few days to spread his love around the state of Alabama.
Rolled in, and thankfully, for the first time in, 5 years now, the weather's not 5 degrees like it normally is whenever I come up from the south.
If you stay till Sunday,
yeah,
I think
if I stay till Sunday, we'll probably get ice.
I don't know that it's going to ice, but it's definitely going to turn cold and rain. It's going to be normal PD weather.
Oh, if I stay here, it'll turn to ice.
Yeah. Funny story, the first time he ever came up, I guess it was 2019 when we started this.
Ish.
Yeah. He showed up.
In shorts.
It was 65, 70 degrees, middle of February. And the next day, was it snowing?
Yes.
Yes, the next day it was snowing.
Snowing with a high of 28.
And you might have had a pair of blue jeans with you, but that was the extent of it. So.
But that's pretty much my cold weather gear. You know what I mean? A pair of blue jeans is all I need in Louisiana. You know, up here, you guys, y'all need snowmobiles and everything.
I don't know. I don't know about that. We needed ice skates a couple weeks ago. You missed that fun.
Man, if it gets 32 degrees, we shut schools down.
We do that with a little snow here. So, well, welcome to Alabama. I'm glad you're back. He brings me boudin most of the time. I didn't need any this time. We were in good shape.
Right,
but
you still got some left.
I still got some, but he's got some fine boudin down there where he comes from. If you don't know what that is, you're missing out. So
big time.
So we decided while he was here, we'd only been talking about this since I started this thing a couple of years ago. We decided that we were gonna just sit down, and I get asked all the time, man, how did that get started, or what was how did you get the idea, or whatever. So PD, just tell the story.
So. I have a real job where I work at an oil refinery in southwest Louisiana. I live about 70 miles from where I work, so I commute back and forth every day. And so on April 14th of 2014, I remember it like it was yesterday, I was driving home from work, and the idea for the BassCashBash literally just popped in my head out of the blue. And, we get ideas that come into our head all the time. But for some reason, this one just would not go away. Couldn't even sleep that night. I called a friend that worked for the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries and asked him, was it legal for me to catch, tag, and release fish on that lake right there by my house, Toledo Bend? And do I have to have any kind of a special permit to put on a tournament, And his exact words were, what in the world are you talking about? Because that's some random questions.
Right.
And so I explained my concept to him. I said, I'm going to put tags on bass. Each one of these tags will be $1,000 a piece. And the tournament will last for 4 months. And I'd like to try it. And he said, man, that sounds like a great idea. And that's the day the BassCashBash was started, right there. And I worked on it really, really hard, just setting up the website and setting up a Facebook page and setting up, which back then Facebook was a lot more prevalent than it is today. Sure. But getting all the social media stuff lined up and figuring out registration forms and brochures and hats and T-shirts. And so it started in 2015. On Toledo Bend, which is a lake that borders Texas and Louisiana. It splits the states. And from that, it's grown to now being on 9 lakes across Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, part of Mississippi, and Tennessee.
Pros are on Toledo Bend right now, but it has not started over there
No,
yet.
It doesn't kick off till March the 1st, just like it does here on Gunnersville.
Just like it does here. So This is year number 10? Is that right?
This is the 10th anniversary.
10th anniversary. So
of putting jewelry on fish.
Jewelry on fish. Have you by chance figured out over the years how much money you've given away?
The last I looked was last year, and we've given away 7 boats, 3 trucks, and over $2 million in cash since this thing started.
Ooh.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
But it's so much fun, Pat. It's the guys that I hear from, that tell me, man, when I go fishing, during the tournament, that March 1st through July the 4th, every time I get a bite, when something ticks my line, I reel down, getting ready to set the hook, and what's going through my mind is, oh, this thing might have that tag on it, And that's what the vision that I had for it from the very beginning. It's meant to enhance your fishing experience. I didn't get into this thing saying, oh man, we're going to give away all blah, blah, blah. It was, man, that seems like that would be something fun, so that every time a guy goes out while this tournament's going on, he's fishing for something, And then, of course, we do $1,000 cash tags. We have the bonus T-shirt that adds $500 to your payout if you catch any prize-winning fish. And in the first year that I did this, I did a lot of boat shows and stuff like that, trying to promote it, trying to get the word out that this is what we were going to do on Toledo Bend. And the biggest question, the question I was asked most often was, well, man, if you do it again next year, what happens in 2016 if I catch a 2015 tag? And originally it was just, well, we'll do new tags each year, and the old tags are just old tags. They're not good for anything, But because that question came up so many times, and I saw that the anglers really, it meant something to the anglers, I reached out to a sponsor and said, hey, man, if a guy catches a tag from a previous year and he's registered, during this year's tournament, would you be willing to give us something to give to the guys, as a prize? And Grizzly Coolers got on board that second year and provided us with coolers. And sure enough, man, the guys that caught the old tags, they got a Grizzly cooler, and we had different sizes and stuff. And so we would let them pick in the order, if you were the first guy to catch one, you got to pick from all the coolers. And then if you were the second guy, you got to pick from what was left. And
this was still just on Toledo Bend?
This was still, at the time, we were just doing Toledo Bend. And then we also, I felt like if a guy caught a tagged fish and he won a prize for it, it is a prize-winning fish. So I said, well, we're going to also do the $500 bonus T-shirt money for even catching an old tag.
All right. So if the event starts here on Gunnersville March 1st, and if somebody catches a tag from 2019 and they're registered before they catch it with the bonus T-shirt, they get $500.
Yep.
And a sponsor prize.
Yes, sir. And Frog Togs has fixed us up with some your Frog Togs rain gear that is amazing. And then we've also got some rods from Halo Rods.
Right.
So you could win a Halo rod or something from Frog Togs, and plus, if you got the bonus T-shirt, we're still going to write you a check for $500. And Pat, whenever you explain when you explain the Bass Cash Bash to an angler, and you explain everything that's involved, the fact, I know this is the Gunnersville Grassroots podcast, so we're going to talk about just Gunnersville. For 4 months, you've got $400,000 worth of tags swimming around in that lake. And that's just the tags from this year.
Right.
Plus, you have the tags that are left over from previous years that could get you a prize from a sponsor, plus the $500 bonus if you have the bonus T-shirt. When you explain everything that you can win and everything that's out there available to these guys to win.
For $80. For 4 months.
Yeah, and that's the entry fee and the bonus T-shirt.
Right.
For $80.
For $80, yeah.
Man, you don't own a rod that costs less than $80 nowadays.
They've got baits that cost $80.
Exactly. You don't have a reel that costs less than $80, and it costs you $80 every time just to fill up your vehicle. You'll spend $80 on a weekend of fishing just buying Pepsi and Pringles.
Yeah, and it lasts for 4 months. Now the thing that people, we have some of those guys around here. A lot of them are the ones from out of town. But now here's my math behind that. You got people that visit Guntersville, just like they did Toledo and other places. They come down here and fish for, say, 4 or 5 days. But if you're fishing 4 or 5 days, that's the equivalent of somebody that lives here's 4 or 5 weekends.
Yes.
So, I mean, you fish from daylight till dark or on and off or whatever for 4 or 5 days. The guy that goes to work Monday through Friday that's not on vacation's fishing on Saturday, that's a month.
Right.
I mean, so how do you not sign up?
It frustrates me sometimes the number of guys who miss out.
Mm-hmm.
Just last year we had 289 guys that caught tagged fish that weren't registered.
That's across all the lakes.
That's all the lakes.
Yeah. 289? I didn't know that.
Yeah. and 2 of those 289, one was a truck and one was a boat.
And that was in Alabama once for sure, wasn't it?
Both of them.
Both of them. Coosa
River.
Yeah.
And that's one other thing that Alabama really has a little bit of an advantage. Guys over there, most of the guys in Louisiana either fish Sam Rayburn or they fish Toledo Bend. The guys from Louisiana and Texas. Very few of them venture out and fish, other bodies of water. Here, you got a lot of guys that fish like the Alabama Bass Trails and other tournaments that go to Logan Martin, Lay Lake, Mitchell, Jordan, Pickwick, Guntersville. So for $100, you can fish every one of those lakes, and we've got tags on every one of those lakes.
Yeah, for another $20.
For just $20 more,
yeah,
you've got all the lakes covered. That includes your bonus T-shirt. I mean,
now,
and maybe I'm different, but for me, dude, it's a no-brainer.
100%. Here's a question that I'm for those that are listening, if they don't know, I am the director of the Guntersville. When I guess PD said I was the first person he let hold his baby.
Yes, the Guntersville was the first one that I let someone be a tournament director. Because I've always tried to keep this thing so square and take care of the anglers and when you have something, an idea that you've come up with, that you've developed, it's hard to give somebody else the reins and say, okay, man, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to let you do it. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's very, you get nervous about it.
No, I definitely understand that.
But I will tell you this, if things hadn't gone so well over here, that first year, I don't think I would have expanded to other lakes. You know what I'm saying? Let's say we would have done it here and the people didn't enjoy it, or we had issues or anything. I'd have said, no, I'm going to stick to doing Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn, the lakes that I manage right here. And but because it went so well, we've been able to add the Coosa River chain. We've added Lake Pickwick over here.
Pickwick and Wilson combined, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because people that kind of fish through those together. Where I was going with that when I started that a minute ago, it's something that I get asked a lot, and you may as well. People here are starting to get the hang of it, but let's say you're a Guntersville fisherman. You signed up for Guntersville, you don't ever go anywhere else. Well, all of a sudden your buddy calls and says, "Man, the smallmouth are biting at Pickwick. We need to go." You can still go by one of the registration stations and give them $20 and a piece of paper or form, and they can add you to the all lakes.
Yes.
You do not. We keep it pretty simple. I need to quit kicking the floor here, but
what I usually do, because the $100 deal is to encourage people to sign up all at one time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So a lot of times what I'll do with the angler is because you didn't do it all at once, you don't get the $100 deal. What we do is I let you add. We have a registration that's on our website for $40, and so instead of it costing you $100, it would only cost you $120.
Okay, that's the way it works on the website. Okay,
yeah, and that way you still get to add the lake. You don't have to pay the full price, for each individual lake or anything like that. But because you didn't do it all at once, like you should have,
right?
It's $120, and you're in for the rest of the season on all the lakes,
right?
And it's been so much fun. You know what I mean? I love it when guys come up and talk to me about it and ask questions. And so over here, when you get that guy, when you get a guy that you know caught a tagged fish, what is their reason usually with you as to why weren't they registered before they caught it?
I forgot. Well, I didn't think I was ever going to catch one because I fished it the last 2 or 3 years. That's a pretty common one. And,
yes.
And I tell everybody I go in waterfront and people are like, man, I ain't never caught one. I said, well, if you don't sign up, you will.
Yes, 100%.
So, don't be that guy. It's, again, it's a minuscule amount of money in the big picture. It's a lot of money, right? I mean, everything's a lot of money these days. But in the big picture of what people spend on fishing for something that lasts for 4 months, if you don't fish tournaments, and there's a lot of people that go fishing on Guntersville that do not fish tournaments. This is not your normal weigh in, whatever. You can catch this fish. You can catch it
at midnight on a Tuesday
on a cane pole with a redworm.
Yes,
as long as it's caught in a legal manner. Yeah,
as long as you're using a rod and reel, and as long as you're registered prior to catching the fish, you win. It's not we got to be at the landing at 6 a.m. to blast off, and we got to be back at a weigh-in at 3. No. You go fishing whenever you want. Plus, if you're a guy who is a tournament fisherman, who fishes those weekend tournaments and those weekend series and everything else. So what happens if you catch one during your tournament? Well, because it's a tag, now we would love to have a picture of you with that tagged fish before you clip it, but all you have to do is clip the tag off the fish and you can cull it, add it to your best 5, do whatever you want to do. It doesn't hinder your tournament fishing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to keep, at the end of the day, you don't have to have that 5th fish. That doesn't have to be in your 5 fish
right, you can
for
cull.
You to still get paid. Right. You can cull it, just take the tag off the fish and you can turn it in at your convenience. Mm-hmm. It doesn't hinder your tournament fishermen either. So that's one thing I really like about it.
Now, we've had several people during tournaments. I've had them call, go, hey, man, I need to cull this fish. And I'm like, well, clip the tag off, throw back.
Yes.
And if you take a picture if you got a minute. But, it's your favorite thing about this is when a lady or a kid catches one.
Yes, 100%.
And we've had both.
They're registered.
And they're registered. Yeah, we had
the worst part about this thing is whenever I have to tell a kid, no, man, mom and dad didn't sign you up, so you just missed out on a truck, a boat, or $1,500.
We've had a few of those.
We have.
Yeah, we definitely have. So we kick off here March 1st.
March 1st.
You're here. We're going to go hopefully catch a few fish, shoot a few videos here in the next few days.
Yeah, for those who aren't familiar, every year we shoot a video. We show you the truck and the boat. We only shoot videos for the big prizes because we put so many tags out across all the lakes that we do. I think it's up to like $2.75 million worth of tags total, across all the lakes that we do. But we shoot a video. We show you that the tag says boat on it. There is no denying it. When you catch it, you read it says boat on the tag. And we show you that tag that's on that fish, and we release the fish into the lake, and then we come up and we show you exactly where we're at on the lake so that there ain't no hanky-panky, hey, y'all were in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. No, here we are. We're right here in front of waterfront, or we're right here in front of Goose Pond, or we show you exactly where we're at on the lake when we release it. So there's never a question of, just it's on the up and up. Well, you see the fish, you see the tag, you see it go in the lake, and you see exactly where we're at on the lake when we do it.
All right, and those videos are posted on Facebook and YouTube, and I put them on the Bass and Big G website link to see. So they're there.
Yes, 100%.
Boat and a truck on Guntersville. So what's your vision for the big picture? For
man, big picture. My hope is that this is something our grandkids are fishing 20 years from now. You know what I mean? And my vision for each angler is I hope this enhances your fishing experience. I hope when you're one of those guys that when you get that bite, what goes through your mind is, oh, this baby might have a tag on it. I may be fixing to win a boat, a truck, and I hope it brings joy to your fishing experience. That's the overall goal, and what I see for Bass Cash Bash, is man, I sure do hope somebody has fun doing it.
Right. We've had really good feedback here. Lots of people really look forward to it. We've got.
Well, man, I tell you what, dude. I'm gonna say this. Guntersville has something that no other lake that I put this on has. Paul.
Yeah.
Period. Paul has really helped to make this tournament what it is. And for those of you that don't know, I'm talking about Paul that has waterfront, grocery bay and tackle.
Guntersville bait and tackle, yeah. Waterfront.
Yeah, GTO, waterfront.
Yeah.
And man, he went in 100% on this thing. When we came to him and said, hey, we'd like for you to be a registration station and we'd like for you to be a part of this, dude, he was all in from day one. And he makes videos for us. He promotes it I'd say he promotes it just as much as we do. You know what I mean? And he's always talking about it. He's always, trying to make sure, and I think a lot of it is the fact that he loves his customers and he does his best to make sure these guys know about it so they're not that guy that catches that fish and they weren't registered because they didn't know. He makes sure they know about it. Now, if they don't sign up, it's on them, and he'll give them a hard time when they catch that tag and they're not signed up. But he goes above and beyond to make sure that his customers know, hey, on Guntersville, we've got tagged bass, and these tagged bass pay you money. You could win a truck, you could win a boat. So don't be that guy that misses out.
Yeah, he's without a doubt been a huge part of it. And, we've had some turnover at the other locations. We've got Freedom Marine that signed some up as well, and they've been there since the beginning. Goose Pond's had some changes. Now Brittany and Robbie that's taken over Victory Sportsman at Goose Pond, they've done a really good job too. They've got their she's started out, had her hands full just a little bit. So she's got some help in there now, and she's really rocking with it. So, all those folks, very much thanks.
Yes, we couldn't do it. I could not put this on without our registration station.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a place, and that, and I don't know how many people you've had come up to you and say, "Man, I registered online and I never got my bonus T-shirt." And the first question I ask, did you read your email? And 99% of them, I already know the answer before I ask the question, because the first line in the email is, hey, we appreciate you signing up for Bass Cash Bash. If you picked up a bonus T-shirt, stop by any one of our registration stations at your convenience and pick up your bonus T-shirt. And so I already know the answer whenever I ask them, but if we didn't have those registration stations, you wouldn't have a place to be able to go pick up your bonus T-shirt,
Right.
Or turn in a tag, or, everything else that goes along with it.
Sure. Can't do it without them.
Can't do it without them.
All right. We're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to tell you why. It's almost 70 outside in February, and we're going fishing.
I'm ready to wet a hook.
This year's tags are what color?
Red.
Yep. All right. Red tags. This year's shirts are
for
here's blue.
They're Heather Navy,
and they're so soft.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like wearing pajamas.
It's my favorite shirt. I give my mom one every year, and she said that's her favorite. She even got over the whole red one last year. She said, I don't really like red, but that shirt's comfortable.
Yes. Yes, 100%.
So we're going to go fishing here in a minute. I don't normally go fishing while deer season's still in, but it's 70 degrees. Why not? So sometime here in the very near future, I hope to have Trey back. He's got a pretty hectic schedule the next month, but I think he might be able to slide in here. Should have local Guntersville Pro Jacob Wall on here with me real soon, too. I talked to him last week. He's at Toledo Bend fishing right now. So until then, we're glad to be back and enjoy the floating grass.
Hey, Pat, thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good one.